Hello, we are with geekdom.gr, and today we have with us Ananki Games, the developers of a new fantastic game that we just saw in trailers, to be honest, the Fate of Baldr.
We're working hard.
Yeah, it's hectic. We feel the pressure on it, of course, but we have a lot of fun doing this.
Is the release date approaching? And
Yeah, that's the like a doomsday almost. But you'll never feel like you have enough time.
No.
yeah. Even after the release, you will always see and say, "Oh no, I could do that better." And
Would totally play this game.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
do you want to talk to us about the game? So it's a tower defense game based on Viking mythology, right?
Yeah. Do you want to start with the story?
You can try.
Yeah.
It's based on this. It's quite a well-known tale from Norse mythology about this the god Balder, which is the son of Odin and Frigg. So his death was prophesied to trigger Ragnarok, and it's one of those big themes for very good for games, I think. So the game starts off shortly after his death, when his mother is trying to find a way to revive him, and since his death is the trigger for Ragnarok, which also means the end of all gods. Like all the gods are gone crazy and are unable to help. So Frigg is the only one really sane in this case. So she decides to try and go to the Vikings of Midgard to help her figure these things out. And so you start out as one of like a selected Viking warrior, which is getting access to some kind of divine space tech, making it possible to travel to.
Can we choose classes and stuff like that, or is it something?
Yeah, there will be 4 unique classes.
Okay.
With their own abilities and weapons and stuff. So it's also a 4-player co-op game. Potentially, you can play it single player, but you can play with up to 3 others. So these classes are essential for the story in that they're yes they have to defeat the boss of each of these 9 worlds that are known from Norse mythology. You have this Helheim and of course Midgard.
It's the 9 realms of mythology, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah, we know it from Marvel, of course.
They have popularized it. So you have to defeat the boss on each level and then get an item. And so the thing is to gather these items and in the end sacrifice them and try to revive Balder and hopefully reverse Ragnarok. That's
hopefully.
That's the basic outline of the
We can do it. We can defeat it.
Yeah, that should work.
Actually, the Norse mythology is getting very popular lately, not only because of Marvel, but we have a lot of video games about it. I mean, okay, we have God of War, of course, that has all the elements there. We have, I don't know, Valhalla and games like that. We all have Senua Sacrifice, which mixes. And we have many indie games as well, like Valheim, which is the graphics of your games reminds us of such gameplay, but it's a different genre, of course.
Yeah, but we've heard that before, and we definitely turn to Valheim to see how they solve the different stuff.
I think that's quite obvious reference with the third-person character control in a kind of a Viking Norse team. And they also have this like basic inspiration of this realms. They have this. But that's kind of where the similarity stops, I guess, with in some ways maybe in the aesthetics, but I believe we have a slightly different graphical style as well. But we'll see. We'll be updating the trailer and images and stuff, and screenshots.
Yeah.
It's from a bit older build, so
It's
Early times.
yeah, it's kind of the things we feel bad about because it's too old now, so it's kind of the game doesn't look like that anymore.
We try to squeeze in the time.
It's always like
it's always a priority to find.
Do you want to share with us, I don't know, games that inspire you, or movies, or what are your inspiration for this game?
So quite a few things actually.
Yeah, I think I tend to bring up this Warcraft 3 mods from like quite a long time ago in my younger days, playing this in LAN with friends. And they had some really good tower defense mods where you could control a hero character and build towers, and it was a lot of fun to cooperate with this. And so that's like part of the feeling I hope like we're trying to capture this joy of playing together and trying to have this player character work as similar to the hero character by being a mobile tower sort of. And we also have this like probably obvious references to Orcs Must Die and it's Dungeon Defenders. They are probably the most like on point direct references in terms of some of the game mechanics in being third person, and they have some kind of tower mechanic and waves of enemies. So they are definitely up there, and we're trying to match the things that work there. And Fortnite, we tried a little bit, like we obviously can't do it as well as them, but shooting mechanics.
You never know, you might do it better.
It's
I mean, it's a new game, and
yeah, it has like it's sharp on what it's supposed to be sharp on. So I mean, it has a great team behind it. But yeah, and Kingdom Rush, I think, is a big inspiration. They have really nice tower defense mechanics. I think they really nail down stuff like.
Will it be released as a final product in Steam, or are you gonna release it as an early access, or
We will be releasing it as a full game at the end, I think. There's a lot of advantages to doing early access, but I think it's more appropriate for like longer running titles like RPGs and survival games, for instance. You have to like it's very useful to get feedback, and players can enjoy them for a longer time without actually getting the story revealed or.
Yeah, and that's a very big issue, because recently we have played the games that are early access, and we were like, okay, let's try this, and then we got all the final cutscenes in the first early access, and we were like, okay, I don't want to play again because I have already seen the ending.
I already played it. Like you have to the replayability is important, I think, for early access titles. So, yeah.
Yeah. You also have a cinematic trailer. We have another author which is not here, Melody. She said she reminds her of an episode of Love, Death and Robots.
Yeah.
Have you watched this?
It's nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, we were fans of the show, and we were like, okay, this seems very good.
We're very happy with it. It's turned out pretty good.
We had this third-party company which we met at the Nordic Games, like it's kind of small event there in Scandinavia, and yeah, we met these Swedish guys, and they offered to make this for us for.
This kind of indie deal, for instance.
Yeah,
it's a really big like. Movies are always really like time-consuming and can be super expensive also, and especially animation. So it was, but they had a really nice collaboration with them. They did a super good job.
Yeah, it kind of shows the gameplay, like very short. You get to a planet, you put up your turrets and shoot, and then bigger and bigger stuff keeps coming.
Yeah, it gives you an idea of what happens.
The essence of the game, I guess. Yeah.
So I think that's turned out good.
As a team, we are like, okay, obviously we play the AAA games, but were more into indie games because nowadays big companies just raise prices. Like we have games that cost 70 euros right now,
Yeah.
and they're not finished. So you buy a game for 70 euros and you're like, okay, now I have to wait for 3 months to get the patches out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And indie gamers, indie games are more honest about it. You get a game in a very fair price, right? It's usually more interesting because it's not just the recipe that works. Indie gamers, indie developers usually put more thought on the games than just, I will do a sequel and the second game and the third game and,
Smaller production companies that
Yeah, it's more flexible.
like Hollywood titles are always like usually less interesting than like the more like passion projects, for instance.
I want to ask if it's possible to finish it like a solo game without having a party to
Yeah.
play it together. Is
Yeah,
it gonna be easy or is it gonna be really hard?
I think the base game shouldn't be too hard. I think we want to make it relatively accessible. It's already a kind of a narrow genre, so I don't think we stand to make it too inaccessible for like casual players in that sense.
Will I be able to choose the difficulty of the game?
Yeah, we're thinking about having like the at least differentiate between like standard and more of a hardcore mode, so that you can have more of a challenge if you want to. But
Oh,
I think
okay.
we'll see a little bit about the final implementation of that. If you'll have like multiple difficulty levels, or if like with the
Or
like the normal
is
and a harder mode like this.
yeah, I was like if I am high level with and I party with someone which is low level, will it be I don't know, the bosses and the enemies?
Yeah, that can be like the way we're setting it up. I guess is more like it's server based for the most of these global upgrade things, so that the host will be responsible for the like the biggest most
Ah, okay. So I can like if I am the host, I can like choose everything and set the
so the
difficulty.
host,
Okay.
it depends kind of how far the host has gotten in the game,
Okay.
how much of the upgrades you have available. But so there will be some more class-based like rank abilities that will be unlocked per, which is the client's stuff. But it should have slightly less impact on the like survivability. I guess it's part of it, of course. So I think we should expect to have a little bit harder time doing like the final level with a level 1 character and a top level host, for instance. But I think we'll see. The balancing is always hard. So,
Yeah, sure. But I think that's kind of the fun thing also, that you as you can play your game single player, and then you can rank up your class, because if you play like one of the classes berserker, then you reach a certain rank, and then you open an ability like for this berserker. It's that he's doing more damage when he's getting hurt.
Oh, okay.
Berserker feature there. So, but you can also join up with your friends, and he's playing as the host, and you can join up with your rank of this berserker. So you get access to this ability even in his game.
Okay, so if I, let's say, advance my character in a single play, can I join with this character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you will get your keep your rank with that. But,
Nice.
That's where the balancing comes in.
Exactly.
Certain limit to how far your personal class can get.
Yeah.
Compared to it has a little bit more to do with the global host upgrades. So.
What is the intended way to play? I mean, do you think of it more as a multiplayer game or as a single player?
I think we started out wanting to do like a single player experience that you can also do in co-op mode. So it's primarily single player in many ways, but it I think it looks very multiplayer based also, because you kind of, even though you start as one player, you get into a kind of a lobby host mode. So it's definitely playable just as much with single player as co-op, I think.
But it's like, I guess this is personal preference, but I like it more playing together with friends. It's like,
Me too.
Yeah. It's always more fun. It's always more fun. But
And
you know,
Merrier the more.
It's definitely a personal preference, and it's also nice to. I don't really. I don't particularly like titles that you can only play multiplayer. For instance, it's they have long, like both shorter lifetimes, and they are a little more limiting. And
yeah,
but it's personal.
you don't want to sit around wait for people, like in a small game. You don't want to sit around wait for people to join and no one owns the game. That would be boring.
yeah, and it's also easier to tell stories in single player mode, because usually when you play with people, even if you have all the story in the multiplayer mode, most people just skip it and are like, okay, let's play. Okay, it seems fun. So you lose parts of the game.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to ask you about the development process. You are a small team. How does that work? And for example, do you use a game engine that is already out there, like Unreal or Unity, or do you make your own? How does this work?
We use Unity as a game engine.
Yeah.
I don't think we could ever do this by creating our own engine. That would we couldn't do that.
That's usually the 15 to 20 year early access ridiculous time. But yeah, we went for Unity. It was one we knew from before we started this company, so it was natural for us to do that. And we use Blender. I use Substance Painter and some paid programs, but we try to do it most of it with the they're not unlicensed. At least Unity is.
So in our team, I think like Asia, she's an artist background. You can tell about yourself.
I mean, I have artist background, and I transferred myself from pixel artist to the artist, and now I'm developing the concept art for this game and helping others to prepare everything that he can nicely and smoothly do sculpting and don't have any problems to develop things.
I don't have to do freehand, which would be a complete mess.
Yeah, so she's the creative one, and then Anders is
creative.
Doing most of that. Yeah,
I'm definitely more comfortable technical. So.
He's doing the 3D modeling.
Really nice to have to pick your brain for creative ideas and like the character designs and the world designs and everything. So.
Yeah, André is holding everything what's kind of technical and company related and just everything possible.
Doing the CEO stuff.
CEO stuff. It's not too bad in a small company. But,
Is it easy for you? Like, you're just 3 people creating the game. Is it easy? Like, do you think it would be better for you to have more people helping with a game?
Yes.
I see the pain in your eyes right now.
I see.
It's a good question because it's in some ways being 3 people means we can be a lot more flexible and we can be we don't have to deal with team meetings and discussions there's fewer opinions, fewer of this. Generally, it's faster. It feels like sometimes it's faster, more in the decision making process. But we can definitely feel the the lack of actual people resources like this.
I can see it in your eyes. Like,
You're tired.
is it? I read your resume that you sent us, and
Mm.
I saw that. I'm sorry. I saw that André's wife is
She's the one paying for this. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
paying for the project.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Like, I feel the guys are like, fuck, we're so tired. Is he? Is he? Is your wife pressing you to release the game earlier?
You know, she doesn't care about games, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of think of it as she just wanted me to get out of the house, and that's kind of how I feel it. No, she's very supportive, but she doesn't really she doesn't care about the details here. You want us, of course, to be successful and stuff, but you know, we have our budget, and then we're able to do what we can with that. Yeah.
I think it feels very. It's a very like what could you say, gifted arrangement. This thing is it feels really like we have struck a jackpot in it, but also of course feel the pressure.
It sounds to me that you already have a big studio mindset. Like, we give you the money. We don't know what you are making. We just want to succeed. You have this time.
I think the pressure is probably like primarily internal, but we certainly feel an obligation to do the best thing we can.
I wanted to ask you for a comment about the current state of gaming industry. Like what I was telling you before, we have big studios that make AAA games, but people always feel like they're stolen. Like you pay so much money to get a game that's not finished, and big companies don't seem to really care. That's and then we have a bloom of new indie companies that release games, and it's a whole new community that in the earlier years we didn't have so many different small studios producing games and be actually heard. So what's your thoughts about the current state of this?
Tools are like the availability of tools are a huge part of this. Because you still have to have the like experience to some degree and competence with tools, but the amount of open source, like how good the open source tools are now, and how much easier they are to use, and how much better quality you can get, I should believe that's a big factor. And also, of course, when you have this insane indie projects like Minecraft and Valheim, I think it inspires a lot of people to think, oh, this is something I want to try as well. If you want to it's I think the idea that it's possible to break through with like what would be considered a small project and actually make a difference in the world almost is probably a huge inspiration in the business. So it's my take on it, I think.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, how did you decide to work together for this and create a game? André said that his wife wanted him to go out more. So I guess it kind of started like that. But did you know each other from before, and you decided to work?
I knew I studied for like game 3D and animation for game development in 2011, was it? When I was, and a couple years later I met Kim, which is the third founder of this company. He's not with us now, but he so I just got in contact with him through an old friend of mine, and we started working on games like a hobby project, and just whenever we had free time on the evenings and stuff. So we did that for a few years, and
yeah, and that's I guess that's when I joined you guys. It started as a hobby project, but I had 2 small kids at the time and a dog, and I didn't have time to do a lot of hobby projects. So I kind of thought that okay, if I'm in this, I have to do it full time. So I quit my normal job, and it was a lot more fun doing game development. And I was working in some we were creating like these monitors or displays to go on board ships. So
Okay.
a totally different job, but it's very fun to jump on this thing here. And
I worked on EU regulations for Norwegian aerospace for 7 years before doing this. It's definitely not related.
No,
it don't have to be.
So we kind of we found together, and then we had an opportunity now and started as a hobby project, and then we got this funding, and then we're able to do it full time and rent our offices and pay ourselves some salary, although we keep it so low. It's we barely manage, but it's it's kind of what we need to do in order to complete this game. So we're still very happy about that. And
we had this guy Kim with us for a while as a co-founder, but he had to find a better paid job, kind of. Had some personal stuff to handle, so
he broke up with his girlfriend, so I needed to move out, and it's
private stuff.
No.
But
it's just thinking about the name Ananki is just because we weren't very creative. We didn't have Asi at the time, so we had to use our first letters in our names. So I'm André and Anders and Kim. So that's
that's amazing. and I wanted to ask you what the name means. So
doesn't really mean it. Just we're not too creative. That's
our process.
That's great.
We got us through a work training program in Norway, which is a government funded thing. So
I didn't expect it that well. It's how this will happen because I just moved to Norway and I was like not allowed to work. And I see this like in the internet, like okay, this kind of like a job which I want to have and which like kind of totally like for me, and I'm just like okay, I have to try it, and they kind of waited for me, and before I got my like documents in this case because it was Corona time, and yes, I joined this. So it was really kind of a nice coincidence.
There's always, you don't know how well you can match as a team, and
it's a journey, right?
Like in our case, we like struck gold in this, that we found someone that worked that we could continue working with. We ended up offering her a full-time position because like everything worked, the chemistry and the art felt good. So but it's would have been harder if it didn't. Like it was 6 months with this work training.
You think it just struck me. You think that if it'd been like half a year later, you think we would have gone with only AI stuff? It's just like a few months later.
Journey and Dolly for everything.
I don't think so.
Maybe we are not very much fans of AI art, so
no.
A little bit of time before.
No, we're very happy with Elsia.
Yeah.
So,
what about music? Do you have an artist making music for the game?
Yeah, we have a German musician, which is audio creatures, I think they're called, and so they're helping us with like this main themes and planet music and stuff in there, and also sound effects actually. So I'm really happy with them.
That's
Met
good
them
to hear. Good to
also
hear.
in this Nordic Game Conference, which is very useful. These conferences.
Yeah, we'd sit on our small corner, small office, and just worked. Like we didn't really reach out to anyone before this Nordic game event, and then there you were able to participate in this kind of speed interview with different
almost like speed dating. I guess.
speed dating between companies.
It's
Not very romantic, but it's like quite efficient, and you meet up with a lot of contacts, like some in music, some in PR, some in whatever you need.
Everything
really.
from publishing to like art assistants. Like, it's all the stages. It's really
and
nice.
So far, are like the ones we've been working with from there. It has been great. So yeah, it was very good for us to be there.
One other question I had to ask is, how much of this game is predefined and how much is improvisation? Because since you are working as a small team and you have all the ability to take decisions on, on the fly, how much of it is like, oh, I'm gonna try this, seems fun?
I think we started with a pretty limited like game design document. It was like very basic. We had the basic story down, but
I think to be honest, it was definitely a very different game in the beginning. Because we had a lot of some major game mechanics that we just couldn't make work in the beginning. So there's been quite a big evolution in some ways.
Yeah. So one, just to mention, like one of the mechanics we wanted from the start was we actually wanted the players to go below the surface in 2D space to gather resources, and we tried to make it fun, but we didn't really do that. So
it was
kind of we felt it was an interesting idea, but it just wasn't any fun
too much
gameplay.
Of a genre clash. I think
it was
this
weird.
idea of like you go down and mine in the darkness and pick up resources, and some few enemies would suddenly appear, but at the same time you would have to like make sure you had towers on the surface that were there when the enemies came. But it became like this, how you're supposed to know when there are, and how can we make it interesting to have enemies attacking your ship while you're deep down in the darkness? And should you teleport back? Should you fly for like 5 minutes to get back on the surface? And I don't know. It was it became a little bit too complex for us, I think, to do that idea.
But yeah, to answer your question, I think is a lot of the stuff we do is improvised or was improvised. Now it's more. It gets more and more set the more we kind of figure out.
As you reach the release date.
Yeah.
We have like this. We had the main
outline.
And then a lot of it has come as we discuss and try the game ourselves and find out and get input from testing.
Do you have fun making it? I mean, aside of
Yeah, I'd say
being exhausted.
It's definitely like energy demanding, but it's I mean, it's for my part, it's the favorite job you can have, and I think we're all.
I look forward to go to work every day. So
feels like a blessing to say to me.
I'm jealous right now.
Not really religious.
So because we don't want to, take up all your time with this, I wanted to ask where people can find more information about your game. I see you have a Discord server too.
Yeah, join Discord to get in touch with us. That's very
Discord is definitely the best.
Thank you very much for your time. I know it's precious. I see that you're really tired, and but on the other hand, I'm happy because I know that I will get a very good game, and I'm excited about it.
I'm having a water leakage in my home, so I'm on the couch at the moment. So it's not always like this. I know it. The eyes are darker than usual. Yeah.
No, people, it's gonna be a good game. We can see it already.
The only one that seems like had enough sleep is André. Right?
Thank you.
More
I
structured.
will take
also.
that.
Imagine having kids and
Yes,
sleeping
just
well.
kids.
But to be honest, I get up
It
early,
looks,
so I
yeah.
actually leave for work before they get up. Sneak out. So
That's sneaky. Your skill in stealth must be very high. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, and we will wait to review the game and play actually, and we're going to
Thank you
stop
so
recording.
much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Bye,
too.
guys.
Have a nice day, all.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
bye.